Are you diving into the beautiful and expressive world of Spanish but struggling with some aspects of the language? In this video, we will go over one very crucial element that new Spanish language learners often struggle grasping: pronouns. Mastering Spanish pronouns can be a little tricky at first, but it's one of the best things you can do to improve your Spanish and to sound more like a native speaker. Pronouns are words that replace nouns. They play a vital role in enhancing fluency, reducing repetition, and conveying ideas more efficiently. For example, in English, I might say, I have a dog. She's brown and white. There's no need to clarify that I'm describing my dog in the second sentence because I already mentioned her in the first. By using the pronoun she, I can avoid the annoying repetition of the dog. In Spanish, there are 9 different types of pronouns. Let's go through each one of them with examples. Are you ready? Part 1. Subject pronouns. We use subject pronouns to identify the subject in a sentence, which is the person or thing performing the verb or action. Mario y Adolfo son gemelos. Ellos tienen 12 años. In this example, Mario and Adolfo are replaced by the subject pronoun ellos, or they in English. Make sure to pause the video if you need more time to look at the chart. Let's look at all of the subject pronouns in Spanish. Yo, nosotros, tú, vosotros, él, ella, usted, ellos, ustedes. Let's take a look at another example. Yo voy a la escuela. I go to school. In this sentence, yo, or I, is the subject pronoun. Quick tip, take a look at the conjugated verb. It will tell you who or what the subject of the sentence is. Let's take a look at one more example. Paulina y yo trabajamos mucho. Nosotros necesitamos unas vacaciones. In this case, Paulina y yo is replaced with the subject pronoun nosotros, right? Nosotros trabajamos. Part 2, direct object pronouns. Direct object pronouns replace the direct object in a sentence, which is the thing or person receiving the action. Let's look at an example. Miguel comió la galleta. What did Miguel eat? The cookie. So la galleta is the direct object. Now let's replace the direct object with the direct object pronoun. Miguel la comió. La galleta is replaced with la because galleta is feminine. Let's pull up the chart and take a closer look. Me, nos, te, os, lo, la, los, las. Let's go over another example. Bienvenido, señor Olvera. Lo estábamos esperando. Here, Mr. Olvera, masculine, is the direct object. So, Mr. Olvera will be replaced with lo. A cool thing about Spanish is that when you have 2 verbs in the same sentence, you can restructure the sentence and tag the direct object pronoun at the end. It would look like this. Bienvenido, señor Olvera. Estábamos esperándolo. But we'll save that for another video. Let's go over one more example. ¿Tienes las llaves? Here, the direct object is las llaves. Las llaves, feminine plural, will be replaced with las. ¿Las tienes? Do you have them? Part 3. Indirect object pronouns. Indirect object pronouns replace the indirect object, the thing or person to whom or for whom the action is done. Let's look at our first example. Te presté mi libro. To whom did I lend my book? To you. So te is the direct object pronoun. Let's pull up the chart for indirect object pronouns. Me, nos, te, os, le, les. Here's another example. Yo les dije la verdad. To whom did I tell the truth? To them. So les is the indirect object pronoun. Let's go over one more example. Le compré un regalo a Laura. Here we have both the indirect object pronoun le and the indirect object a Laura. Why? Because sometimes le can be ambiguous and you'll see both the indirect object and the indirect object pronoun in the same sentence. You can use them when you feel the need to clarify. In this case, we will drop a Laura since you already know who is going to receive the gift. So it would look like this. Le compré un regalo. Part 4. Prepositional object pronouns. Prepositional object pronouns are used after prepositions to indicate the object of the preposition. Hold up, I would like to point something out before we continue. In Spanish, unlike in English, we do not change a subject pronoun like él, ella, nosotros to an object pronoun when the pronoun is the object of a preposition. Unless there's an exception, the object is yo, it'll change to me, or if it is tú, it'll change to ti. Let's pull up the chart. It'll make more sense. Mi, nosotros, ti, vosotros, él, ella, usted, ellos, ellas, ustedes. Let's look at an example. Tengo un regalo para ti. So here the object is tú, remember? And it has to be switched with ti, because we don't say tengo un regalo para tú. That just sounds funny. So here the preposition is para, or for, and the prepositional object pronoun is ti. One more example. Vamos a cenar sin ellos. Here the preposition is sin, or without. So ellos is the prepositional object pronoun. Sorry, but there is one more exception. But it's really easy. When you have the preposition con, mi and ti, the two from before, change to migo and tigo, all in one word. Contigo, conmigo. For example, quiero pasar más tiempo contigo and not con ti. Part 5, reflexive pronouns. Reflexive pronouns indicate that the object of a sentence is the same as the subject. In other words, the subject is performing an action on themselves. Me levanto temprano todas las mañanas. If I do a word-for-word translation, it would be, I lift myself early every morning. So here I'm doing the action of lifting myself up early every morning, if that makes sense. Let's look at the chart. Me, nos, te, os, se. Let's look at another example. Él se cepilla los dientes después de cada comida. Word for word, he brushes himself the teeth after every meal. So here he's doing the action of brushing himself his teeth after every meal. Part 6, relative pronouns. Relative pronouns are used to provide additional information about a noun and establish a relationship between the main clause and a relative clause. Let's look at an example. De todas sus películas, la que hizo con Anya Taylor-Joy es mi favorita. Here, I'm specifying which movie is my favorite without having to start a new sentence. Since película is feminine singular, we use the relative pronoun la que. Let's pull up the chart. El que, los que, la que, las que. Let's look at one more example. Por lo general, no como tacos, pero los que vende Lucas son deliciosos. Here, we use the relative pronoun los que because tacos is masculine plural. Part 7, indefinite pronouns. Indefinite pronouns refer to non-specific people or things. Let's look at an example. Alguien te llamó. Who? We don't know, but somebody did. Here, alguien is the indefinite pronoun. Let's pull up the chart for indefinite pronouns. Alguien, algunos, algo, algunos, nadie, ningunos, ninguno, ningunos. Let's go over one more example. Nadie sabe la respuesta. Who doesn't know the answer? Nobody does. Nadie is the indefinite pronoun. Part 8, possessive pronouns. Possessive pronouns indicate ownership or possession. Let's look at our first example. El libro es mío. The book is mine. It belongs to me. Here, the possessive pronoun is mío because el libro is masculine. Let's look at the chart for possessive pronouns. Mío, míos. Mía, mías. Nuestro, nuestros. Nuestra, nuestras. Tuyo, tuyos. Tuya, tuyas. Vuestro, vuestros. Vuestra, vuestras. Suyo, suyas. Suya, suyas. Suyo, suyos. Suya, suyas. Here's another example. El perro es nuestro. The dog belongs to us. It's ours. Part 9, demonstrative pronouns. Demonstrative pronouns correspond to the English this and these, and are used to point out specific people or things. Here's our first example. Este es mi coche. Which one? This one. Este is the demonstrative pronoun. El coche is masculine singular, so we use este. Let's pull up the chart. Este, estos. Esta, estas. Ese, esos. Esa, esas. Aquel, aquellos. Aquella, aquellas. Let's look at our final example. Esos son nuestros amigos. Who? Those guys. Esos is the demonstrative pronoun because amigos is masculine plural, so we use esos. And that's it. We've made it through all 9 types of Spanish pronouns. Achieving the confidence to use pronouns properly can only be attained by having a clear understanding of the purpose of each word you use within the context of a sentence. And the most effective way to do this is through immersion. Rosetta Stone offers lessons for Spanish learners at every skill level, Through Rosetta Stone's dynamic immersion method and fun activities like live lessons, which you can discover in the app, you can practice using these pronouns in authentic contexts and develop a deeper understanding of their usage. Go to rosettastone.com or download the app from the Apple App Store or Google Play Store and start mastering Spanish today.